Standing near the cross of Jesus were his mother and his mother's sister, Mary, the wife of Clopas, and Mary Magdalene. When Jesus saw his mother and the disciple whom he loved standing beside her, he said to his mother, "Woman, here is your son." Then he said to the disciple, "Here is your mother." And from that hour the disciple took her into his home. When I read the Passion narrative this year, during this time of fear and loss, I was drawn to the image of Jesus hanging on the cross, having one last conversation with two people he loved dearly, his mother and the beloved disciple. Mary's soul once magnified the Lord, her spirit rejoiced, but now she is overwhelmed by grief. To lose a loved one is hard, but to lose a child, that's too much. The son who you carried in your womb and delivered into this world, the child you watched take his first steps, the boy who was a handful to raise, the child who questioned everything, had somehow grown into this amazing man filled with so much love and wisdom, strength and grace, power and light. Losing him is too much to bear. Mary sits at the foot of the cross weeping, looking up to watch her beloved child suffer a humiliating and agonizing death. She silently screams to herself, "I can't do this. Please, God, make it stop." But she has no power to make it stop. It's like the world stood still there, and there was this moment of clarity when Jesus looks down at his mother from the cross and says, "Dear woman, here is your son," and then says to the beloved disciple, "Here is your mother." And from that moment on, the disciple took her into his home. In our translation, we use the word home, but home is not referring to a place or a building, but a community, a kinship. This term is used throughout John, but it is most prominent in chapter 10 when Jesus says, "I know my own, and my own know me. You shall be my people. I will be your God, and welcome you to the family of God." Jesus commands the beloved disciple to welcome Mary into a relationship and a community that would love and support her after Jesus was gone. Jesus also commands Mary to adopt and embrace the beloved disciple as her son. The beloved disciple is losing his best friend, his rock, and his hope. By bringing the two of them together in their time of sorrow into one household, one community, they can both receive comfort and support at this time of loss and brokenness. They don't have to go it alone. They have somebody to lean on. When you experience grief, fear, and loss, you need God and community more than ever. Carla Dahl said, "Grief and loss heighten our need for connectedness. The grief and loss of Mary losing her son and us being separated from each other, it heightens our need for connectedness with God and each other." Maybe you have already lost someone, or have friends or family members who are suffering at this time. Maybe you have lost your freedom to go places. Maybe you are anxious because it's hard to purchase the things that you need. Maybe you are lonely and long to be with those who you love. In a time of loss and anxiety, we need connectedness now more than ever. We need to connect with God. Even though we may cry, my God, why have you forsaken me? We must also remember that God is with us in the midst of our suffering, in the midst of fear. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. God is walking beside us every step of the way. In the midst of suffering, Jesus took care of his loved ones, and so should we. Jesus forgave those who persecuted him, insulted him, and he showed love and strength amidst suffering. And so should we. In the midst of our grief and fear, now more than ever, we need God and we need others to help us bear the load. Long before Bill Withers sang the words, we all need somebody to lean on, Jesus knew it. He knew the power and provision of God, and he knew the power and provision of a loving community. In the days and weeks to come, please remember that we all need somebody to lean on. Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain. We all have sorrow. But if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm going to need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride if I have things you need to borrow, for no one can fill those of your needs that you won't let show. You just call on me, sister, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you understand. We all need somebody to lean on. So call me. Call me.